And
we're live. Hello and welcome to the 111th episode of Game Theory Gang. I'm Matty ALLin with Tobiwan Hexobi, Brisology, ChrispyMan of Hexfire.io. Welcome.
Hey,
howdy,
glad to be
howdy.
back. Glad to be back.
Hey,
I had some music therapy last week, so I had to miss out, but I missed you guys. I literally almost commented while I was at my concert. Not on my end. You guys are coming in through my ears, so it shouldn't be.
Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, it's you.
That's me.
Put down the bong. But yeah, I almost commented in the chat during your stream while I was at a concert. That's how pathetic I am. Like I'm at a concert with my girlfriend, fiance, and it's like I'm still like checking in with game theory, like so gay. But anyhow, but I missed you guys. Glad to be back. Concert was awesome. Any Death Cab for Cutie fans or Postal Service fans?
Oh, nice.
Tour. Yeah.
Seriously?
If you get a chance, check them out. Good stuff. So I'm feeling rejuvenated.
Service, huh?
Postal Service, yeah, the Postal Service. Yep. So it's Google it. It's good stuff. This is not what this is about.
I remember when crypto was at such great heights.
Hey, good reference. He knows the band. That's a good tune. Yeah, we'll get back there. I have a feel. Hey, do you know what? I have a sneaking suspicion, and this might just be. This is Game Theory Gang, right? So, this could just be like a psychological construct over time where right before we go into a conference, it seems like the price kind of gets a little shaky to sideways, and then we pump into the conference. So I have a feeling kind of that's what's going on in the charts right now. It's like there's this weird subconscious anticipation of a pump, so like nobody wants to buy yet. And then when, something happens to spark it, I think we're going to get some green candles over the next few days. That's my prediction.
That would be really cool. Last time we had a conference at the Hex conference, Richard's legal team showed their hand. They showed all their cards. The cards were pretty good, right? And then the OA and the God Whale were smashing the buy button. And then, the Bitcoin ETF got approved just a couple days after all that. So, that was nice of them.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff seems to happen around the conferences. So it'll be, I'm excited to participate, excited to watch. Be interesting to see if we get a little positive price action. I think Briz nailed it week before last when he was talking about like after the halvening, how it's just like this brutal crab walk sideways for months, right? Like, and I think that's what we're in, man. It's just a drag. It's pretty dismal. But if you can zoom out and know the big picture and know the cyclical nature of all these things, then it definitely can give one solace.
Yes. Well, we just got the schedule that came out. So all the haters who thought that there wasn't going to be a conference or we weren't going to have record participation with speakers, I don't know what to tell you.
Pasha.
So, and then, as if by some miracle, the schedule this year is published in dark mode. What is this innovation?
Finally, Maddie, welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, right?
My eyes can finally relax.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is repost worthy. Go to @PulseChain and repost.
Yes.
Repost.
And so I'm super excited. The thing that we know about this PulseChain thing is that we have the best community. We have the most YouTubers. We have people who can take a 99% hit and say, "Give me some more."
Yeah,
Right?
Gluttons all day long.
That's right. That's right.
That's all
And
you
so,
got.
yeah.
It's just-
Yeah, we there are some names on here you haven't heard from in a while, and there are some others that are super familiar. So yeah, this is really close to the final version. But it's starting on Friday. It's a four night event as usual, and 6 hours each night. So depending on where you live, depends on what the starting time is. 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and midnight UTC. And if you go to PulseChainConference.com, you can see a time calculator that will calculate if you live on the other side of the world.
Who am I talking with, Maddie? Can we see that real quick?
Well, we got we can run through the schedule here because we got on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we've got 6 hours each. Starting off on Friday, we got Axis Alive and a Wild SJ. Then we're going to see a panel with Big Kurkowski, David Feeder, Crypto Stylist, and Money Gang Crypto. That's right. Then we're going to have a speed round of many testimonials. And you can see down here in panel 2A and 2B, you might have heard of some of these names: Vets in Crypto, Rip City Hex, Suzanne's Art, Hex Enthusiast, Real Maddie Crypto, Ray Speakmore, Crypto Story 77. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. I am B Roots, Timothy Benjamin, Paralyzed Hexakin, Hexakin 5150, Donovan Jolly, Crypto Truthakin, and then there's a couple more that I haven't gotten on here yet. So that's all happening in hour 3.
I believe that's Yingve Wild.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. And yeah, so that'll be like a testimonial section. And then we're going to have Crypto Heartbeat with Gamma DevOps. Then we'll have a talk from the first day's sponsor, Liquid Loans. And then we've got Buckamentals, of course, to give us a 20-minute talk here. And the keynote for day 1 is going to be A-Bit Hex, KSB Lion, and our very own Hexfire.io giving a talk about the power of ink.
The power of ink.
The power of ink.
The power of ink compels you, yes.
That's right.
And then
Power of ink.
and then we've got a social on day 1 that has a lot of familiar faces from the DGen Roundtable and more. It's got RG3, Axis Alive, a Caitlin Just Being Black, Being the Machine, Zenith
Change
Crypto.
your screen name now.
Not the handle.
Okay.
I try to pay close attention to everybody's updates on their names. Being the Machine, we got Will Stevenson, The Ascending Man, and Mrs. Mick Get It, and TBA. So that's really an exciting schedule for day 1, of course. On day 2, we're going to kick off with a 4-person panel: Crypto 7, Crypto Stylist, Hexfire.io, and 4th to be announced. That's going to be a badass panel. And
Dude,
then
you got to get Hexy Bastard on that panel. That would be fire. That would be fire.
Hexy.
great suggestion. Thank you.
Briz got it.
They're friends now.
Yeah, I know, right? But it'd be funny. You know, I think now that they've squashed their beef and they're both British, I think it would be funny.
All right.
Yeah.
And then then we've got another speed round of builders and people who have made products, new and old. So we've got 8-Bit Hex, Sticker Guy Win, Brother KG, I Am Yellow Cake, Zenith Crypto, Chocolate Taints, SKT Crypto, K9 PLD, Hex Postcards, Hexray Vision, Crypto Compassion, Pulse Wars, Ali Kane, Pulse 404 Mon, Love.io, Just Ask Jesse, Pateas, Pulse Domains, TBA.
Nice.
So that's going to be pretty cool. Speed round. And then we're going to have KDP and Adam Stokes. I'm excited for that one.
That would be a good one.
Cool.
That
And then
needs
we're
to
gonna
be
have-
like that needs to be like an hour and a half.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, the hope is that by putting people together who maybe haven't necessarily streamed together before, but they seem like they would go well together. Maybe if 20 minutes isn't enough, maybe they can do more streams themselves. I would love that. And then we got Time Pays Me as the sponsor for day 2. Then we got Fashion Coder doing a talk, and then a 4-person panel with Big Kurkowski, Dave 43 OG, Frank Molina, and Brother KG. And then we've got a keynote by Aubrey DeGray of the LEV Foundation, and hopefully we're going to have our very own Tobiwan Hexobi in like the second half of that hour. We'll do like a panel with Tobiwan, myself, Pulse Domains, and Hodprol.
Now, is that going to be with Aubrey? Like, can we ask
Yes.
Aubrey questions? Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Stoked. That'd be
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that'll be really cool. And then we'll have our day 2 social, which looks a lot like the What the Hex crew, plus more, with Papa Boner, DJ Cryptomatic, Markable, Elmire, Disco Peter, Diraj, Das Bomb, Sticker Guy, and Tobiwan.
It's technically Boehner. Just, I know.
Got
everyone
it. Got it. Yes, thank you for clarifying.
Nobody gives 2 peanuts.
Family
That's
show,
right.
Maddie. Family.
That's right. We do have families watching. On Sunday, it's going to be a 4-person panel with Crypto Coffee, Corey Costa, Nuclear Herbs, and Hexiest Man in the World.
Nuclear Herbs. He's this first streaming.
He's streamed once or twice with Corey Costa before, but yeah, this will be
Okay,
this will
cool.
be a treat.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Toby
Toby will be back, and then Papa Boehner and KDP will do a talk together. Couple talks, TBA, Corey Geary. Saw him in the chat earlier. Him and Dane did a great talk earlier today with Crypto 7. Should check that out. And but they'll be together with Hexfire.io and Hex Monkey. That'll
10,000x. 10,000x. I just wanted to say that. So,
Yeah. Somebody's asking no Tang Gang ? They decided not to participate, unfortunately, even though I invited them. So maybe next time.
They were invited.
That's right.
there must be a strategy. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we wish them well. Then we got Future Us Win as the quote unquote sponsor for day 3. That'll be cool. Then we'll get a talk from Dollar Cost Crypto. We'll get a talk from Fashion Coder and Johnny Chaos together. And then, okay, are you guys ready for this one?
Big one, man.
Are you okay? So it's a panel that's a keynote panel talking about people who are maximalist versus maximalish. It's going to be Nerd Girl, Charlie from Cultivate Crypto, Captain RG3, and drum roll, please. Solid Hex. The Firewell. First appearance.
He's
Pretty
going to be
Yes.
appearing?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, not like on camera, like camera off. type
Oh,
thing.
camera off.
But like, yeah, appearing audio live.
He'll be there. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Yeah, so that's obviously the keynote for day 3.
Crispy
And then-
Man, I got a question. What kind of accent do you think the Firewell will have? Wait. You know what? you might be intimately involved. You might actually already know.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't say because I think I can pick it
All
out.
right, let me throw
I-
that question to Maddie.
I,
'cause
I think it's
Maddie knows.
definitely South African. That's what
I was hoping like a Scottish.
Bro,
Oh,
we all thought Silver the
I have no
Antidote
idea.
was like an African monk, okay? So I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, who was prepared for GQ, right?
Yeah. So much love to Silver the Antidote as well.
That handsome devil.
That's right. That's right. Then we got a panel for day 3, Hexray Vision. I want to pronounce this Okeechobee. He rocks. He's got an original song that's going to be part of like the transitions and stuff.
Oh,
That guy's really cool. I met him in the PulseChain tour Chicago. Then we got Georgia Carrera, Vibra Finance, Vibra Lindsay, Top Gun Hexadian, and some TBA spots there.
that's a stack panel, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
holy moly.
And then kicking off day 4, which is the first launch anniversary of PulseChain, we've got Crypto Class and Brother KG.
nice.
We've got a donation. We got a sponsor for day 4, which is 9inch.io. So we'll have Hexy Bastard on there. And shout out. We'll talk later in the show if you guys saw the lowest of stakes. But we got to give Toby a hard time about that because he helped make the highest of stakes. And then here we go, Brisology. You have the honor of being with Par Excellence on day 4.
Nice. And 43 OG in the chat. Let me bring it up. He says, young and wild and Par Excellence are the same guy, the host of DeFi Happy Hour, aka Doza.
Uza.
AKA Crypto Claus's husband. He goes by 4 names around here, doesn't he?
Yep.
Well, perfect, because it's just fine to have somebody do a testimonial and to do a talk. So and by the way, I really like his show, and shout out to him.
Yeah.
Hey, Maddie, we should be clear to everyone too, right? That nobody was able to front run this schedule. Right.
How so?
Well, I never saw it before.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah.
No one front runs
This is hot off the press. And this was okay. Yeah, if you guys want more like backstory, I'm like making this schedule, and I'm like, oh, I know who should go with like this person on day 1, and I look, and it's like they're unavailable. Like they're available every other day except for and then I'm like, oh, I know who I could put in there, and then it's like, no, that's the exact availability that it's not going to work for that person. So somehow with like whatever it is, like 90 people who are speaking, somehow I believe this represents when people can actually come and speak. And then, there's a handful of people that I actually still have to plug in. But here we are. Tobiwan, you're back just in time.
Like the boomer of the group, dude. It's like the technical difficulties. So embarrassing.
Can you turn up your mic?
Oh,
Boomer.
Damn it. Sorry.
Maddie, it's okay that so when I did my little questionnaire, I said I wanted to come talk about X. So is it okay if I only use like 3 words continuously? Stake X now.
There we go.
And I'll just mix that up. Stake X.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys be like, so what do you think about PulseChain? I'll be like, Hex, stake now.
Hex Love has a
that
question
sounds
about
great.
is Axis on the
He's on the first panel,
He's
isn't he?
on there a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, Axis is on there more than once. We're still going through day 4 here. We got Cabana, Crypty Girl, Hexray Vision, and TBA.
Woohoo!
We got a talk that still gets
That's
filled
right.
in. Then we have a new section called Hostage Videos, Proof of Pulse. And don't worry, that's not a literal thing. It's for there's a bunch of people that they couldn't make it, or they're traveling, or they can't come on the exact day that that was available. And so we're gonna have 1 minute pre-recorded videos from Tom Gillespie, Hex Turbo, Sammy Chica, Hexagon Hill, Crypto J, Hex Ninja, Yalacoder, Child, and a few others. So that'll be cool. And then we got Dipcatcher and Hex Scout. Shout out to them. Then we got My Life is Awesome, Crypto Heartbeat, and K4K Crypto. K4K is back.
Nice.
And then the keynote on day 4, BitBoy, Ben Armstrong, does stand up for an hour about crypto.
Really?
Wow.
Really?
Wow. That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's locked in.
Good for him.
And then we
man.
got the final social, which is Crypto Coffee, Access Live, Captain RG3, KDP, Crypto, David Feeder, Hexy Bastard, Wild SJ, Whitney Magic, and Hot Pro.
a veritable who's who.
Magic.
Nice. I like it. I see 2 spots, man. We got to get Hexy Bastard in there because I mean he's just coming off the success of the launch of his movie, so you got to
Yeah.
get Hexy.
So
in
we
there.
got him. We got
He's
him
a
on the
friend
final
of the show.
panel.
Okay,
We got
cool.
him here as the sponsor for day 4, and
Oh,
then
understand.
I mean it's possible we can fit him in somewhere else too.
Yeah, because I know he's like good. Like I think one of the first streams he went on was Cabana Crypto, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then that panel with Crypto 7 I think would be cool. I can't get enough Hexy, man. That movie cracked me up. I love British humor, and it was I thought it was really, really clever and well done. And the soundtrack was awesome, but we can talk about that later.
Well, I just want to be clear: is Ben? Is he going to be doing stand-up comedy, or is he just going to do it like
Stand-up.
while standing up, like he normally does?
I mean, yeah,
Ba-dum-bum.
yeah.
Nice.
Thank you,
ladies
that's
and
gonna be
germs.
interesting. You know what?
I'll have to read the fine print of what I
I
told
think
him.
we should. We need more comedy in crypto.
Dude,
Yeah.
laugh or cry, bro. It's nothing but comedy, in my opinion.
Can't spell crypto without crying.
Yeah. All right.
That's true.
That is true.
So, and I noticed. So yeah. So I also noticed. There are a couple names missing from here. I got to get Fast Abdul on here. RH Max was not intentionally left off. He just was. He wasn't available at the time. And then I just realized that he's not on here. So, message me if I left anybody out, because I thought I got everybody.
What about the Go Pulse guys? Are those in there anywhere?
Go Pulse is on the list of people I think I've contacted them.
Cool.
I will make a note of that too.
You know,
Just to
I
double
see
check.
I see that you got you did get the 404 guys on there, 404 Mon, you've got Pulse Wars on there. Do you envision that panel having time to talk about things like NFTs? Or is this more like a generalized panel?
So the for the builders, the speed rounds, they have 2 to 3 minutes to present. And so they can talk about anything that they want. And then again, like the hope of this conference is that everybody will go forth, like now that everybody's friends, they can stream together with each other on each other's channels. We have 220 YouTubers in our community. Like we have only 24 hours of conference time. And so the great hope is that everybody can make an appearance. Nobody is left out. And then by watching this sample of everybody, then the YouTubers and the builders and the whales and the viewers can all get together and make more episodes themselves.
Yeah, I realize this is like Monday morning quarterbacking, but I just see that whole NFT space as being an opening, along like memes are an opening to the rest of crypto, and that's why I mentioned it again. So, anyways, I look forward to hear about their project.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we can have them on this show at some point if that would be useful to people.
I think
as I think it would be.
I think it'd be awesome to do them.
With the cheap transaction.
Maddie,
I mean, obviously, like the PulseChain community is very open to memes and, you know, NFTs. It seems like there's more room to grow there. And obviously, that's a huge segment. And then 404s tend to be like the new hot buzzword in NFTs. And of course, I know nothing about NFTs, so I'm like the worst guy to be talking about it. But I think it's a good opening for, you know, people to come and participate on PulseChain that maybe have not to date.
Yeah, 100%. Because I bring it up. I know you're a boomer like me, so.
Maddie, I just want to say
Gen X technically, but yeah, I mean we're kind of
yeah.
Maddie, I just want to say that the 4 images on the right hand side, they're driving my OCD wild. Like the PulseChain Conference 3, like the 3 is in like several different locations. It's even like above PulseChain Conference in the bottom right, where it's the circle with the Pulse logo is like slightly different everywhere. There's no
Those are the thumbnails, Brisology, so people need to know where they're going.
It's driving my OCD.
Do you have a problem with this being the 3rd PulseChain conference?
No, but the conformity of the text and number and logo.
He's just made each one for all 4 days different. It's PulseChain Conference 3, and then he's got a 3, like almost like a cubed on the logo itself. It makes sense to me, and you're not going to see them all together like that.
Oh,
you're
I
going to see one for
logo.
each.
It sounds like Brisology is volunteering to do the entire conference next year.
Briz is really good with this stuff. I mean, you should solicit him for his assistance.
He's going to organize all of it.
I just see
Briz Conference 2025. Sign up now.
I see 5 icons with 3s on them, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
I do see that the 3 is.
Do you see the 1? Do you see the 1 year launch anniversary there?
Yeah.
I do.
There's numbers everywhere, you guys.
Numbers everywhere.
But
I'm
so glad
this is the cabal. Got it. Okay, sorry.
It's the Illuminati crypto.
It's the Illuminati in the background.
I'm just glad that you guys liked the speakers and the dark mode, and I'm sorry that you don't like the logo for the conference.
I'm just saying.
I love it all. I think it's all perfect, Manny. It's like fuck the haters.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I just got to take the counterpoint. I can't pile on with these guys. It's like I'm sure I can find something to pick on, but it's like it looks really good. It looks really good.
Maybe we can get Westcott in some of these TBAs. I don't see them anywhere else.
Dude, we gotta get Pulse Nation in the mix. It's like gotta have Westcott. And,
I have
Wheezy Bird and Disciple. Would love to have those
guys. I have messages out to a lot of people.
Cool.
And you know, that's been the general theme is like, you know, people are working, they're
right.
They want to participate, and so I'm just I'm still getting people, but like basically the choice was either publish the schedule or you know, the people who you see here, then they wouldn't know when they're speaking. So you know, the choice was easy. It was you know, we can add more people where we see fit. So
nice.
Hey, just to be clear too, Maddie, I'm like 99% sure that everyone was invited. Anyone who heard the message was invited to fill out the form and potentially speak, and that you've done everything you can with those who've actually responded to put them on the schedule.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Yeah. So if we do hear any crap, about people saying, "Oh, I wasn't invited. I was blacklisted." Bullshit.
I was gatekept.
I call bullshit on that. Everybody was offered the opportunity here.
Yeah, that's right. There's proof here. There's receipts. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah.
Just looking at all those different people that's going to be at the conference, dude, it is amazing how many all these people are doing, like basically streams on their own, right? I mean, maybe
Yes.
not all of them, but almost all of them. And
Yeah.
that's amazing that we have such a gigantic community.
It is amazing.
It's pretty big.
I mean, show me something like this for Tezos. Yeah, exactly. Get out of here.
Or Cardano.
Yeah, they don't have this. Yeah,
Soy
they don't
llama.
have this in other
They do not.
cryptos.
Well, hey, Maddie, I have a couple spots on there. I didn't know you were going to put me on a couple, but I'm willing to give one up for sure. If there's more people that want to get on there, and you don't have room for them. I don't know if people are joking in the chat, but saying they didn't know, they couldn't sign up or whatever. So no hate. I mean, if they want to join, they talk to you, right? So.
I mean, yeah, if people feel like they got left out because they weren't paying attention and because they don't follow PulseChain Conf on Twitter and they don't have the notifications set up like I've begged people to do, yeah, they could just go to that Twitter and they could fill out the survey now, and then they could hope that that they can be included. But yeah,
so
so far everybody who's filled out the survey is in. So with a couple, the RH Max and Fast Abdul, my apologies, I overlooked you. I didn't overlook you. I just kept moving people around.
Well, I know you did this all on your own, and so kudos for that. It's a big job to do, and scheduling is a pain in the ass like that. And I know that a lot of us say to you, "Oh, if you need any help, let us know." And I know that it's difficult to do that, but you really should get some help for this, right? You should ask for help for this in advance, and we can help you next time around, for sure, right? So.
Well, I mean, look, if somebody else knows a better way to organize a conference, I'll let you take the reins, because just organizing 100 people's schedules is like semi impossible. But I've done it. I've done the impossible, and 99.9% of the people are happy. So
Maddie,
yeah,
in 1 to 2 years, it is going to be so easy to do this. All you're going to do is go, "Hey, Mr. AI, can you please schedule me a conference?"
Well, you could actually do it now.
It's going to be done.
You do it now with AI. You just put in your availability, click.
Yes. Yeah, but there's more skill that's been put into this than just people's availability.
Yeah, of course.
And so I'm really excited. I think that we're gonna have another amazing conference. This is the 7th one that's been put on, and it's
like the 7th Matrix.
And so the right process is I should go to your Twitter that your Twitter post that says, "Here's the survey to fill out if you want to speak," and I should go click on that and go fill out the survey. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah, like right here on x.com/PulseChainConf. Right here, the official PulseChain conferences Twitter. Then you scroll down, and here's the schedule, and right below that, here's the link for the Survey Monkey. There you go. How cool is that? Nice.
You should change your name to Maddie the Architect.
I'm just saying, it's like if people can't figure this shit out, they shouldn't be in crypto. It's like, this is really, I mean,
Fill out a
crypto.
survey.
I mean, this is not hard. It's like, if I could do it, if my dumb, boomer ass could go fill out the survey, I think the rest of you guys could do it. And he's not going to have room for everyone, and he's not going to bring on people that are going to shill things that are, necessarily not conducive to like the RH ecosystem. So, bear that in mind.
I mean, yeah, so far, like, nobody's been rejected. So
There you
there's
go.
space for everybody to be part of the sample of, like, the best.
We got a joker in the chat.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Allen Iverson, he could schedule a conference better than an AI. I'm sure of it. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to this. And again, this kind of like, this is like one of probably 2 times a year that this many YouTubers from inside our community come together. And I'm just really honored and impressed that everybody's participating.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to hear what everyone has to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think we're going to get a PulseChain pump?
Stick Hex.
PulseChain conference pump?
Yeah. I mean,
I bet
it's
you
in the
have my-
cards.
I'll have my finger hovering over the sell button to dump the pump before everyone else does. Because inevitably it seems like that's what happens. But it's like, but hey, the pumps are always fun. If idiots are going to sell them, they're going to sell them. That's not me. I'm a buyer. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Never know. And Richard has a way of like sprinkling. It's like he's a Maddie fan. You know what I mean? It's like he's been a Maddie fan for a long time. So I think he has his own ways of showing support for Maddie, and it seems like that always kind of comes to bear during the conferences. He gives Maddie a little tip of the hat, I think. So that'll be interesting to see how that is. Maybe he submits a video. Maybe he tweets something. Maybe he posts a video on Twitter. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
That'd be cool. Yeah. And
no expectations.
no expectations. That's right. Cool. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to this. And it's gonna be really fun. Let's do it.
Cool. Hey, can we talk about Kendrick Lamar and Drake's beef now?
We can talk about the highest of stakes and lowest of stakes beef.
Dude.
Dick Hex.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's like, but they should be keep an ear out. Our attorneys are going to be in touch there, Mr. Hexy Bastard.
Better not.
Maddie, I saw your debut on the lowest of stakes.
Which one?
I saw your cameo.
Yeah, you're on there a
Okay.
couple times.
Where I was
That's
cursing.
Good. That's good. The Papa bit was really funny, I thought, too. That was good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
There was a lot of...
So what's the context here? Because maybe some people don't. Maybe
it's a mockumentary.
Haven't heard.
It's called The Lowest of Stakes. It's a
Okay.
mockumentary kind of version, a parody, if you will, of The Highest of Stakes. But it revolves around Hexy Bastard, the creator
Hexy
of...
Bastard spent $15 million on it, I heard.
Right, he spent all the SAC money from Poor Pleb to produce that movie. I'm sure they got away a lot cheaper than ours, but I think they did a great job. It's like I think the production value was good. It's like the soundtrack was fucking awesome. It was really. I mean, it's definitely British humor. It's like there's parts of it that I think are universally funny, but it's like. There's a certain kind of dry British wit that, if you like that stuff, which I absolutely love that stuff, then I think you will get a big kick out of it. But yeah, so basically it's around him and, how he kind of came to be, a figure in the space, how he met, found out about Richard Hart, how he became a founder himself, and it's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining.
It took them 9 months to make, and I was laughing the whole time. There's this scene where it's like a play on Mikey telling his wife that he like put their house money in.
Did you notice?
And the guys,
did you notice the part with his fingers on the table? Like that was like my favorite part of that scene because he's just sitting there and it's like, and then like every once in a while he'll like just wrap his fingers on the table. And the cuts and stuff on that were very, very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's explaining to his wife how, you know, he heard about this hex thing, so he put their caravan money in, and now he thinks that maybe they could get 10 caravans. I was just laughing so hard.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's good shit. We should do, dude. We should do a review, because it's not like you're gonna get copyright strikes for playing it, right? So it's like we should literally go through the movie and make commentary. I think that would be a fun stream. Maybe a secondary.
Would be fun.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do that on Toby's channel and
Yeah,
get
if
the
I ever
subs
launch
up.
it in 4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah, there's parts of the movie are pretty funny. You know,
Oh, great. Here comes Briz. He shit on my movie. Now he's going to shit on this one.
no, I'm gonna trade
Ooh.
this one because I shit on yours. I was a lot less angry after watching this one than I was the highest of stakes.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. I liked it. I liked the part where the lady took her top off. But no, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, there's some
Good job, Hex, you bastard.
Low budget
Yeah.
tits. You could have spent a little bit more on some better tits, but
I didn't need to see your sweatpants with your junk in it, right?
no comment. No comment. So,
Crispy, did you see The Lowest of Stakes?
I did.
And
Well,
what's your
I should say I listened to it, and because I was driving at the time. But yeah, very pretty humor. I like the Mikey parody. That was cute. Anyways, but yeah, I had a good time listening to it. And I was impressed by the soundtrack, and I kept wondering, how did they pull that off? Enough said.
yeah.
How did they pull that off?
I went on stream with them right after they premiered it, the guys who made it, and it was really fun to like hear more about their process and like how seriously they take it and that sort of thing. This was kind of like a dream of theirs, was to make a movie, and so yeah, I mean, like if you haven't seen The Lowest of Stakes, you should probably see it, because it's worth like the hour and a half and the free admission on YouTube. They were telling a story about how when The Highest of Stakes came to London, they only got like 5 days notice that like it was going to be in theaters, and so you know they kind of scrambled to get to get people into the theater, and the theater didn't like really take too much note. But when they did a premiere for The Lowest of Stakes, they did it at a movie theater that like rolled out the red carpet for them, and like
nice.
They filled up the theater and all this stuff. So I'm glad, since they put 9 months into it, that they got some recognition and some enjoyment out of it. So
sweet. Yeah, bravo to those guys. I just don't know how they. I mean, they had some like recognizable songs, so that's what I kept waiting, especially with it being on YouTube. I'm like, is this gonna get like copyright strike like immediately? It's like, did they? I mean, they must have like cleared it somehow, but
yeah,
there's a lot of good music on there.
People who are suggesting names that we've had on the conference before, like, yes, please go ahead and message them and have them message me if they're interested. Big Pep, ATX Crypto, like
Westcott.
This is an example of where you guys can pitch in and help me.
Maybe they just never saw the tweet or the post or whatever, and so maybe they just don't know about it.
Yeah, and it can creep up on you too. You know what I mean? It's like I mean, even me, it's like I knew about it. It's like I'm on this stream with Maddie. Maddie's my friend. It's like I was totally aware, and it's like it took me a minute to like get around. It's like, oh shit, I got to do the survey, and I did the survey, and then I was like, oh shit, it's like this coming weekend. So yeah, it can definitely creep up on people. But it's like I much to kind of what Crispy was saying before too, and not that I don't want to be a participant. I would very much always am honored to do so, but I kind of feel like pretty much from the first one, I've kind of been like one of those seat fillers at the Grammys. You know what I mean? Where it's like I'll go wherever. Like you need me, it's like I'll fill in a spot. I've always been real open about that. Like, hey, you got a gap? It's like throw me in there if you got a dead spot. It's like I'm happy to fill in and help out. But yeah, if you get like an influx of people and there's just like, you know, you're getting tight on slots, you know, it'd be fun to be on with the What the Hex guys, just because that panel's, I think, going to be hilarious. But my other slot, if you know, if you've got someone else that you're looking to squeeze in, I would happily give that up. So.
Not too happily though.
Well, no, I mean, it's like I wouldn't, you know, it's like, obviously I love being on there, but I think people get, I don't know. I mean, how much do people want to see me? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm here every Tuesday. It's like, they kind of know my shtick. It's like,
I think
other people.
I think we could add a whole day to the conference.
I think ATX is great.
It could
It's
be
like, I
Tobiwan
mean,
and like friends.
nah, it's like, I think ATX, Big Pep. I mean, there's so many. It's like, if you really start breaking it down, all of which you've probably reached out to, or, you know, you're waiting on responses or whatever. But yeah, there's so many, like, you know, people that I would love to see.
You're picking on his, now you're picking on his process.
No. I'm just saying, it's like, it's not his process. It's just, it's the process, right? It's like, because people have to reply and they have to like connect, and, you know, Maddie's
hey, listen, anybody who's put on a lot of people haven't, but if you put on an event, you understand the problems. Right?
Dude, I've had concerts at my house with like pre-sale tickets and armbands and shit. So it's like, I know what goes into putting on.
So this is where we
major event.
This is where we could help next time with the administrative work. Because right, so like so this happens every time there's a conference, man. You hear all these people whining that nobody ever invited me and they're gatekeeping me and blah blah blah, right? And maybe that's how it works. But what really ends up happening is there's only so much bandwidth like Maddie can have, right? With putting stuff out, he's doing the stream, he's doing the X. If people aren't paying enough attention to know that this is going on, what are you supposed to do? Well, you call each and every one of them individually and you invite them. That's what else you do. Now, is that worthwhile? Yeah, I guess in some cases it is. I mean, there's a lot of people we're talking about that are on the list that aren't going to be there. Yeah, I'd like to hear from them, right? I would. But maybe they did see it and they're not interested. I don't know. But the thing is like Maddie said, right? I mean, he's already winging this fast, right? Getting hot off the press. I mean, we're only 3 days away. I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of changes and stuff that'll happen now, right? But I mean, we could help next time do a little bit different help with administrative work and have a process that helps him a little bit. If he wants it, if he doesn't, then we'll just wing it again.
I mean, I honestly, I don't know how we could do much better with like, you know, look, it seems like there's a disconnect between like what the sentiment is in the community and like what the reality is. And I don't know if like everybody just like lost all their money on meme coins or something, but to me, like life is looking pretty good. Like, when I had to plan the Hex conference, that was actually the lows. And like the year before that, that was actually the lows of crypto. Like right now, we are sitting pretty good. And like, you know, there's people that pretty much everybody that I've asked has wanted to participate. And there's some people, they're just taking a break from the toxic nature of social media.
I remember the first PulseChain conference, I said, there's no way he's going to let us put on a PulseChain conference without launching PulseChain, right?
Right.
That was the low.
Right.
Good call.
And
that was dead on.
Yeah. We have a chain now, you guys. Like, why is it that I'm so positive about this conference? I don't know. Maybe it's because like PulseChain launched. Like,
yes.
Somi, Habibi, please come be in the conference.
And you know, I have pulled people out of retirement, okay, to come on here. And of course there's always more people that can be pulled in, and I'm still welcoming that now. I am, you know, I'm willing to spend all my time between now and the conference to like, you know, to like make people happy and include everybody. Because that's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. So get your survey in, and
Steak hacks.
steak hacks, like Crispy says.
I see a few mentions. I see a few mentions in there, and they said they filled out the survey for super steak, which I'm not really familiar. I've heard some people say some good things about it, but I don't really know a lot about it. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah,
Is it kind of like Maximus?
So
they've fixed the reflection token problem, from what I've heard.
Steak hacks.
So people say that they think they did a survey. Here's how you can know for sure. You can go to x.com/PulseChainConf, go to the third tweet, click on the survey, and it'll tell you if you did it yet or not. It's really cool. And by the way, I turned off IP tracking. So that's cool. Maddie doesn't want your data. Maddie doesn't want to know where you live. Maddie doesn't want to track you, right?
You don't want my
Maddie
VPN?
doesn't even want to have that information.
I don't
What
want
did
it.
My
you-
VPN says I'm from Russia.
There you go. That's fine. So
With love.
yeah, so I think that there may have been a couple people who may have gotten like the wrong survey sent to them, but you'll know that you're doing the right survey because it'll say the right dates. It'll
If
say
all your crypto is now
May
gone,
10th.
that was the wrong survey.
Yeah,
Click on
don't do
the wrong link.
Not funny, Bruce.
that. He's always got one a show, at least one a show. It's like, let me be a sarcastic guy that maybe gets an idiot wrecked. But you know what? That's
Well, it's like in the
that's how
lowest
cookie
of
crumbles.
stakes when he was like, he was setting up his wallet.
Oh yeah,
That was really
showing
funny.
his seed phrase.
Truth
Yeah,
is out.
that was funny, dude. It's like, and I was talking to Papa earlier today, and he was like, yeah, he goes, I did that bit for him, like pre-recorded, and I was thinking he was going to chop it up and just like use like what he thought was the best parts of it. And he goes, he just he used it all. Like he used the whole thing. And he goes, my wife was in the background, like, okay, wrap it up. Because it was kind of a long bit, but it's like, I was telling him, I'm like, I think like, if you're a comedy fan, which I'm a huge comedy fan. So like, there's a thing that's real common. I call it like the Fall Guy or the Family Guy thing, where it's like, they'll just repeat the same joke so many times that eventually it's funny. Like you just break. Like the first couple of times it might not be funny, but just through the act of repetition, it becomes ridiculously funny. And it's like I felt that there was that component in that bit with Papa because he was just hamming so hard in that bottom right corner, reacting to Hexy doing all the bad things as far as how to set up a wallet. And it was literally the wallet for the sacrifice. That was what was funny. Like, oh my God, not only just a wallet, you're literally showing people the seed phrase to the wallet that you're asking people to sacrifice to. And Papa was coming unglued and he was like holding up a Trezor, like, what about the Trezor? What? Don't forget the Trezor. And I just thought it was so funny, man. It's like, but there's so many little nuggets of humor. It's like this is one I could see going back and watching multiple times and like finding something funny that you didn't catch the first time. So
Yeah.
and I legit want the soundtrack. It's like they got to release the soundtrack. Like if they've got rights to all of it, there's no reason they can't put a playlist together and throw it on YouTube or iTunes or Spotify or something. But it was fire. Like I was Shazamming like songs, right? Like one after the other on that. I'm like, wait, who's that?
Napster.
Wait, who's that? Yeah, right. No doubt. D5, baby. D5. But yeah. So that would be fun. And then we got to get Sami. I think we need Sami on a panel. Okay, if we're going to still keep talking about the conference, we got to
All
get
right.
Sami.
Do it.
Got to get Sami,
right.
and we need.
I paid a
need-
lot of money to get a message to Sami to ask him to do it. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Friend
I
tech.
will-
I'm not kidding. I
Okay,
paid
cool.
money.
Okay, cool. I will do my best to get his attention as well. He actually responds to my DMs
Please.
sometimes.
He watches the show too.
Yeah, he does watch the show. He might be on
I
here
would've
now,
sent
but
him a
it's like
message.
me. I think me and Crispy. I don't know about Briz, but me and Crispy for sure. Maybe Briz. Maybe you too, Maddie. Basically, the game theory gang, and then put him like in the middle. put him in the fucking hot seat, and then not beat him up.
Let's grill him.
But we need to, because here's my theory that I've always had about Sami, is that he is trying to build an audience. And how do you do that? You don't do what I do. Obviously, look at my follower account. I'm boring as fuck. I tell you the facts. I tell you my honest opinion about things. I try not to be too hyperbolic. And it's like, and then there it is, right? And you do with it what you will. He, in my opinion, will be like either play dumb or literal. And I don't think he's dumb at all. I think he's actually brilliant. But it's like there are pieces that he leaves out in arguments that he makes that make me crazy. And I'm like, that guy is playing me and everybody like a fiddle from hell because it's engaging. And that's what you want. You want engagement. You want people to like click and comment and follow because you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's living out this and this and this and this. This is obviously not correct. Like he had one out there the other day about Gunther, like just trying to like pump fear that Gunther could dump on everyone. And it's like, dude, his wallets are doxxed. All his shit is staked out for like 12 years. It's like he can't dump on people's heads. It's like, what are you even talking about?
He's still trying to FUD Hex?
He could have changed it.
But it's like, yeah, but he's not going to do that. He's not that dumb. And I know he won't.
Still FUDding Hex though?
Well, it's funny because he does and then he doesn't. Like today, he was talking about like the bare minimum like expectation is Sami. Yeah. So Sami like he'll FUD it and then he'll promote it and then he'll FUD it and then he'll promote it. But I think it's all just engagement farming. It's like I want to know what he really thinks like about
there is a lot of that, but he's been really clear, man. He's a cycle trader. He's going to trade the cycle top.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. He's buying cheap coins.
Is he still shilling those launch pads?
Well, he's doing 90% core and 10% lotto. You know,
no. The launch pads.
The launch
pad he was doing.
Yeah, but those are lottery tickets. That's 10% of his portfolio that he's fucking around.
I think I know what happened with Somi. This is just a theory, a conspiracy theory. Basically, he played up the Hex community. You know, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm your best friend. Check it out." And then he pulls out the old switcheroo where he goes, "Hey guys, I got these launch pads. You guys want to invest in it?" And then all the Hexicans were like, "No, not really." Why don't you Hexicans want these shit coins? And then he found out who really wants the shit coins. Oh, the Tang Gang. Oh, I'm the Tang Gang. So now he FUDs Hex because they hate Hex. And now he's just basically playing up to them so he can shill them shit coin launch pads.
I am incredibly glad that I did not put you two in charge of getting speakers for the conference because you just said, "Hey, let's get this one guy. All right, let's publicly shit all over him first,
I'm not
and then ask him if he wants to do it."
Don't throw me in that. I'm
I will do a one-on-one with Somi on here if you want.
But all right, here. So what I offered him, if he chooses to accept, is he can do a pre-recorded video. He can say whatever he wants, and that is my way to show respect. He doesn't have to do it. He likes to be an independent voice. He recognizes the cultural priests in the temple.
My opinions are mine and mine alone. I do not represent the conference. I do not represent
or the gang.
No, hang on.
I don't represent nothing.
You sure don't represent me.
No. Yeah, it's like, no. So here's the thing. This is why I was saying maybe me and Crispy, maybe not Briz, because it's like I want it to stay focused on, you know, no conspiracies, no judgment over what we assume his motivations are to be doing X, Y, or Z. I'm genuinely curious if what he's doing is willful, like if he's doing it because he knows it gets clicks. And then under that, what does he really believe? Like, does he believe that staking is bullshit? Does he believe that all that's a cycle one narrative that has no place left in the community? Or is he doing that to kind of like prod people to get them to engage with his content? And it's like, so I don't think that's disrespectful. It's a genuine curiosity, because it's like, I think I know the answer already, but it would be really fun, I think, to have a conversation with him about it. And also, I have this thing where I believe that I can change people's minds. So if he doesn't see the value in staking, I feel like especially with Crispy on my hip, I feel like the two of us could get him to see the value of the old cycle one narrative and how it's played out, because he just keeps saying that ad nauseum. And to me, that's kind of FUD, because it's like, if you look into it and you take time to I mean, look at Crispy. Jesus Christ, that man spent thousands of hours crunching information about T-shares and the value of that stuff long term, and the truth engine and delayed gratification. And it's like, if we had time to like try to really open his eyes to that, I think that he would come to realize that there should be, you know, maybe he's not going to be like a guy like me and it's 90% staked, you know, but he could be 10%. If he's going to take 10% and put it in Lotto, why not lock up 10% of your stuff in a store of value, especially at these price levels, right? Especially at these price levels, because then you're going to get price appreciation and yield on top going into this bull. And he doesn't have to stake 15 years, but come on, man.
If we take a step back and not use Zombie as an example, because he does come out very clearly and explain himself, and I do think he has very, very detailed beliefs, right? But let's not use him as an example for a moment.
Yes.
You just step out of it for a second. You're basically having arguments with people today that Hex might do something like Bitcoin did, and it makes perfect sense to hold on to it and have long-term beliefs, because you're going to get rewards, right? And because someday in the future it's going to be worthy and valuable. And so, not that it's not now, but I mean even more valuable. And so what you have is this whole disbelief, Toby, right? People. So if you're so strongly in disbelief that it can ever go up in value again, right? And clearly, I mean, Sami doesn't have like a corner on this market. We got a lot of people fighting every day. If you firmly believe that, then what is there? Cycle trading, right? Top trading, swing trading. There's nothing else, right? It's beat the other guy, play chicken, get the money out, right? And so I think that's kind of what we're up against, because, and what cures all this is green candles, another cycle where we have a higher low, those types of things. But that's 4 years, man.
Right.
You know? And so I think we've got, sorry guys, I don't mean that it'll be 4 years before we see anything. I'm just saying, before somebody could look backwards and go, I remember back in 2019, it made perfect sense to buy, a million Hex at a penny, right? Yeah. Then you'll get it. Right now, they're like, well, I could buy a million Hex for a penny now, or last week, or whatever. Right. And so I think we got some time to go. It's opened up huge opportunity for those of us who stake Hex, because you can see that people aren't staking. So
but my argument to that is that you got to not. I mean, this sounds stupid, but it's like you can't look at the chart from the all-time high to now, because that is going to taint the perspective of what's capable of. If you're buying now, if you're buying at these levels, literally the thing I beat on all the time is it is a hedge to the downside and a amplifier to the upside if you stake. If you stake for the average length, then you're going to end up with around 30% APY. The price could literally go down year over year 20% a year, and you would break even fiat wise. So there's your hedge. If it goes up at all, you end up with 40% more coins annually. So therefore, it's going to amplify your gain. So I'm not saying like, are there people? I mean, fuck, I bought at 34 cents, bro. It's like, I get it. I know what that feels like to be buying on that downslide and I bought every local low, right? It wasn't just 34, but probably 27 and 22 and all of them for years. I am the meme of the little rascals throwing money out the window. That's me, bro. That's how I have DCA'd my.
I remember that episode.
Right? And it's like, and I think that what we need to do is look at a new investor. Like, what should their take on Hex be? I think the potential now is greater than ever. I don't see Hex going down another 99%. I also don't necessarily see Hex doing 10,000x from here, but I think it has a greater likelihood of doing 100x from here than it has doing another 50% dump or 90% dump. So it's all risk reward. It's all money management stuff from traders, which he should understand, you know? So that's my
Don't you
contention.
understand that Hex will die if we don't buy these NFTs and shit coins?
Now you sound like a Bitcoiner.
Nah, it's like it's the same old shit, dude. It's like what people have to understand is there are different asset classes, right? You got your blue chips, you got your tech sector, you got your biotech, you got your AI, whatever. There's all kinds of different little penny stocks, whatever. You got all your different little sectors. But one of the things is, and a big narrative is store of value, right? Why is Hex a better Bitcoin? Because if you lock up Hex, you can earn more Hex. You can't do that with Bitcoin without doing what? Giving control of your keys to someone else and praying they give you the yield back and don't steal all your money.
Hey, dude, you're 100% right about that.
I'm preaching the choir. I get it. So to wrap it up, the idea is go make your money in whatever the fuck you want. If you want to do it in NFTs, if you think that you're going to beat the odds and be a trader that's going to be able to sell tops and buy bottoms, good for you. Then what?
You don't know, Toby.
Then what?
I've been making bank.
I've watched too many people in casinos.
I just did 10x on my $50, buddy.
Decades in casinos, bro. I've watched too many people like go to a table or go to a machine and win. And then what do? They sit there and keep feeding it back into the machine or the table until they give all of it back, and then they walk home a loser. Yeah. And that's what happens with these meme coin plays and other stuff. It's like Johnny talks about it. You got the diamonds. You got them. You got lucky, right? I mean, smart, lucky, whatever you want to call it. You ended up turning your bag of marbles into diamonds. Do you think what are the odds of that happening again? Very slim. So if you get lucky and you pull a B roots out of your hat and you do great on some of these meme plays, is it really the smart move to just rotate them into more lottery tickets? Or do you take a portion of that and store it somewhere where maybe the upside isn't as great, but the risk is greatly reduced?
Did you see that
to me,
picture?
The store of value narrative will come to bear again as people look for places to store their gains. We don't have gains to store yet. People are looking for the gains right now. The smart money, in my opinion, is still allocating a large portion to building out your staking ladder. And then if you want your 5 or 10% to go do your lottery tickets, great. But then what do? No one talks about the next step. What do you do with the gains?
Chill. Stake
Hex. Okay, so
real quick, did you guys see that picture that B Roots posted about his house?
Don't you dare change the topic when I haven't gotten to get a word in.
Sorry, man, I'm on one.
Are you kidding me? Just real quick, let me change the topic.
Tommy Chungs.
No. This is part of the whole meme coin conversation.
All right, hit me.
Did you guys see that picture of B Roots posting his picture of his house?
I did not.
It's really big. And all I can think of is like all those meme coins that people went chasing after. Whew, that's you know how banks and casinos are made. You know how big the building of a bank is, and you know that money has to come from somewhere, and it comes from all the sheep getting sheared.
So sure, yeah, people buy houses and you know. People buy meme coins and that sort of thing. Look, I think instead of attacking individuals like within our community, I think like I want to attack like the ideas that are out there that I think are, you know, possibly wrong. And so like, for example, this whole what cycle narrative is it? I think that's just wrong. I think if you think AI is a cycle 1 narrative now, then you weren't around for Einsteinium and like brain chain and like the actual first cycle of AI that like didn't do shit except rug pull. So, you know, so like just because you're paying attention to AI now because the number went up, like that's kind of circular thinking. If you think like, oh, you know, like, it's doing well because it's the first cycle I paid attention to it. No, you're paying attention to it because it's the first cycle it's doing well, not because it's the first cycle that the narrative exists. So like confusing the popularity of the narrative and like the timing of that with like a number of, I mean, it's just, yeah, that's wrong to like say, that everything in its third cycle isn't going to do well. Well, AI is in its third cycle. Okay. So like, so your argument just fell apart there. And then, yeah, another thing that is being said that's probably not true is like having to do with measuring from the top. I mean, just think about all the people, all the wallets that we can see from Ben Sierra Pro's data and ChrispyMan of Hexfire.io's data. Like we know the exact price that was the average paid for Hex over its entire lifetime. And we can break down with perfect accuracy what each wallet paid on average. And like, I can tell you that not everybody bought the top. Now, if somebody bought the top and then that's all they talk about, that sucks. But then you're not really following like the whole idea of like, DCA and like not getting rich instantly and all this other stuff. So like if you got drawn into Hex and PulseChain because you only paid attention when it was the top, or you like Rolexes and Lamborghinis, like that's fine. You're welcome here. But like, you're going to learn what we believe in, which is the long-term game. And so I'm tired of like feeling bad that some people bought the top, because look, I bought the top in my first cycle. And so did everybody else I know. It's probably 10-1 the people who got into crypto at the bottom, because nobody gets in at the bottom. That's what makes it the bottom. So the way that you get a top is because everybody's buying at that point. And then you weed out the people who are so short term, like they don't stick around in DCA like we all have. And so, yeah, it's just, I think there's this, there's like some false narratives out there, and you can just kind of pay attention, and then it won't bother you so much.
I've always said, the way you can kind of tell like maybe a good coin from a bad coin is all cryptos have the potential to do a 10,000 or a 1 million X. Every single one of them can do it. But it's all about liquidity and how much of the supply is available in the pools, whatever. The question, though, is what makes you hold on to a coin after it does a 10,000x? And, with Hex, for me, it's pretty simple, is that, it makes more of itself. You can use it to generate income, versus something like Bitcoin. You're just waiting for more adoption. So, and that's the same thing with all these other little shit coin meme coins, is that all they're waiting for is just more people to adopt it. None of them have any like utility and whatever. So I think that's a great question to ask yourself, is what makes you hold on to a coin after it does a 10,000x?
Twerking. Obviously. Crispy wants us to stake Hex, by the way.
I think it's I think the reason you hang on is because you understand the long-term capabilities of it, right? It's like, I mean, yeah, it's like if you can buy a bottom and sell a top, congrats. That is very, very rare occurrence. It's like, guys like B-Roots would have you believe that that's available to everyone. It's not available to everyone. It's available to people that have inside knowledge. It's available to people that know when something's going to launch, and they can get in those first few minutes and, be at the ready with bags to deploy. and then, be able to get out with substantial profit and pray that the liquidity is still there when you're trying to get back out. But,
It
with
really
something,
helps also if you have like a giant audience and you can front run them.
oh yeah. I mean, sure. It's like we saw that with Elio Trades and Ben Armstrong and like all those influencers. Was like, what happened? They got bags of stuff to talk about. And then what did they do? They were able to take profit from the pumps that were created by them talking about those coins, right? So it's like it's talk about an old narrative. It's like that's crypto as long as I've been in it. There's just different iterations of it. But with something like Hex, it is immutable code. I feel like I'm a broken record here. It's an immutable code, no admin keys, trustless yield. It's literally you interacting with a contract. There's no middlemen. You simply lock up for a certain period of time, and then you get a distribution of that portion of the inflation. And then you do with it what you will. You can restake it, and then by the sheer fact of having it locked, that gives value. Lamont Black says it better than me. I need to find some clips of him saying it and just have him at the ready to be like, click, play it. Okay, Lamont, please do that for me. But yeah, it's like it's the time value of money, right? The proposition is that you are trading your option to sell by locking up for the yield. People that are not getting the yield are liquid, so they benefit from you locking up because now there is less supply, so therefore it is more likely to pump easier even with less liquidity. Actually, even easier still with less liquidity. So all of those things work hand in hand. It's a brilliant system. It is so simple. It's like it makes you wonder, like, what am I missing? No, some of the most genius things out there are really, really simple. Yeah. But the inflation, the way that it's distributed is brilliant. It's brilliant because it is delayed, it's kicked out into time. And just in, like Crispy could tell you, it's like, because it's all on chain and you can see people's staking behaviors, it gives you so many opportunities to structure your strategies accordingly. So there's so much to it for people that aren't just looking for like, hey, show me the button to click to where I get rich, and actually want to learn something. This is juicy stuff. This is like a spreadsheet nerd's wet dream of a token.
It's a sticky game.
Yeah, absolutely.
We all got stuck.
We got stuck like flies on a trap, baby. I'm trying to chew my legs off to get the fuck out of here. It's not working. But I love it, dude. It's like my only regret is I wish that I had kind of filtered my dry powder in such a way to where I had more of it now than I do.
Yeah, like if you use Time Pays Me to drip your dry powder to yourself so you didn't blow your load all at once.
Never even thought about that, but that's a smart thing because that is a thing, man. It's like there were times where all of a sudden it's like I had like 100K, boom, just plopped in my lap from an investment outside of crypto, whatever. And then instead of me like taking that, I would think that I found the bottom. Yeah. And I would ape 50% of it in there just to not be a total idiot. And then surely I mean, if I was trading it, it would have been different because I could have traded it because God, the patterns are ridiculous in Hex. But it's like inevitably there was a lower low. And I could have done way better not dumping half of my dry powder bag in at that spot. I would have been better to
imagine if people got onboarded into Time Pays Me so that was their habit, was to just like buy weekly, like on whatever time frame they chose, and then they wouldn't get hacked either.
Dude, it's like blackjack, Maddie. It's the same exact thing because it's like when I played blackjack, I had a very specific strategy that I'd utilize, and it was a grind. There'd be times I'd be at a blackjack table for 12, 16 hours, but I would almost 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, I would walk away a winner. And it was a grind, but the problem was, if you go off book one time, like you build up a stack and you go off book one time and be like, man, I'm going to go ahead and like 10x my bet right now because it's like it's coming. I feel it. The blackjack's coming. That's how you get wrecked. And that's what happens in crypto. It's like, and that's what I love about Hex because it is a slow, boring, grinding type of a game that pays you more over time. So if you can compress that time, like Crispy was saying, if you could look back 4 years from now and be like, well, yeah, that was obviously the play. But people don't have that forethought. They see other things running, they see shiny things, the altcoin season already happening, like Sami was saying, all that other bullshit. And then what do? They take their dry
Emotions.
powder and they lump it all into one thing too soon, too fast, and then they've wrecked themselves. And then so much of their economic energy is just like kirk, and they missed out.
Well, listen, we know that we need the casino, right? Because that's what PulseChain is, the casino. We know it has to be there because that's crypto. All right, and so I just leave that part the way it is. That doesn't mean that everybody who's interested in a better way, that's what they need to do, right? And so I think this will resonate with all of you, right? Because I've been doing all this testing and looking at all this stuff that's been going on. And I'm concluding, much like we talked about before, that I can do LP, but I got to watch it, and I got to make moves, and I got to do stuff that looks like trading, and sometimes I'm wrong, and having permanent loss, and sometimes the pools dry up, and sometimes demand dries up, and I can do farming, but then so no farms have disappeared yet, but they did before. I remember positioning, EXX, and then the farm just went away. And then the APYs change. And so I got to watch. And then I got to worry about what I'm doing with my ink. What am I doing with it? Am I keeping it? Am I selling it? Am I compounding it? Anyways, I have all these different things I can now do with Hex. I can borrow against it. I can do all this stuff. And anyways, I'm coming all the way back to the beginning, which is what you said, Toby. What is our what's the use case for Hex? Build a staking ladder. Long-term, delayed gratification, believe in the process, and then you're stake and chill, man. Now, you may not like that. Maybe that's okay. You're going to do all this other stuff. But maybe there's a class of people that, that's just fine. You know what? Making 15% on average per year is fine on Hex in a go up to higher lows over time scenario, right? And, just goes right back to what Richard's always hammered in. It's not about these cycle highs. You can do it. You can trade that stuff, but it's about being here 3, 4, 10, 12 years later, which is like a whole nother thing, right? To even, convince people they should be sticking around that long, or to convince yourself, I guess I should say.
Shout out to Axis Alive in the chat.
Well stated. Axis, what's up, bro?
Trade mode. He says people seriously have no concept how much money Hex can print them when it reaches 50 cents or $1 just from 30-day stakes. If you have 3 million Hex, you can make so much money every month. And I just did the math. And if you can acquire 1 million Hex, and if it goes up to $1, that will make you on a 30-day stake with just 1 million Hex principal. It's going to generate over 7,200 Hex a month. And if it's at $1 each, that's $7,200.
Yeah, because a million Hex at $1 at the current rates, you get about the 7%.
Yeah, about 7%. I
higher.
just did the math. It's like 7,200.
Well,
But
that's why.
That's guys, Hex is going to $1 eventually. I don't know when, but I believe it. Believe it with me.
Well, Hexy Bastard put his life savings into Hex at the top and only got 2 T-shares, and that was printing him 12 Hex per day. So the deal is a little bit better now than it was back then.
Gotta keep dollar cost averaging. Don't use it like a lottery ticket. It's this is the new money.
I think I forget, a lot of us have been saying it, but maybe it was Seven that said this, Crypto 7, or maybe it was ATX. But really, the time right now is if you're trying to get people you're trying to onboard, now's the time to really get people on board, because the prices are weird and low, and you get a lot of value for it. And I think I've thought out my strategy for how I would explain to somebody at the top during 2025 why they should get it. Of course, always their decision, not financial advice, but you got to be willing to stick around for another 4 to 7 years, right? Because you're hoping to outrun it. But more than likely, if you cool your jets and come back at the bottom, it'll be cheaper, right? But I don't really want to be telling people at the top to go buy cryptos, any cryptos at the top, right? I really want to be telling them, hey, we've been talking about this for 2 years, and 6 months ago, if you were watching, that was the time to have wrapped up your DCAN, and now you're you're at the tail end of the cycle.
But it's like, think about it. If nobody ever told us about crypto because it was the top, then we might not be here. We might not be into it so many years later.
No, I get it.
I've always had the idea, because a lot of the times people come into cryptos just to do a quick flip. They go, oh my God, this thing can pump up like this really quickly. Let me get in, I'll make my money, and I'll get out, and I'm the smart guy. And then what happens is people usually buy the top of the bull market, and then it tanks. And I've always been of the mindset that people who are bag holders, eventually they turn into long-term investors, just because they're forced to hold, and they can actually see how the markets turn around, and then they actually get conviction into some of these cryptos, even though originally they just wanted it to be a quick flip.
Yeah.
So I think becoming a bag holder is kind of important for some people.
I think that's what a lot of us learned, and maybe not all individually, but we've seen from other people, is when you come into crypto and you're looking for that big flip, right? What ends up happening is you take risk that you shouldn't take because you want the big flip, and you totally ignore the top in your round trip, or you blow it out completely, right? Meaning you make bad decisions, you lose what you got. Where instead, again, Richard Hart has laid out the plan. There are cycle bottoms. That's when you start DCAing in and you take your position, and then you stake and chill in terms of hex, and then there's cycle tops, wash, rinse, repeat going forward. I mean, as long as that continues to happen. But I think I was on with you guys. I told you that I started DCAing, into crypto a long time ago. It's almost been 2 years since I told you that. That's how long. Oh, good, man. I'm doing awesome. It's like I'm killing it, right? Because, and this is not PulseChain, because PulseChain obviously didn't exist then. But I wanted to make sure I had enough ETH, for whatever I wanted to do in the future. I didn't know what was going to happen, and so I've been DCing every day since like July of 22. I'm up like I don't know, 160% or something. And so in the real world outside of crypto, that's like killing it, right? Just to be able to load something up. I don't think about it stake and chill ish. I mean, it's not, because it's obviously not hex, but we're just kind of arguing that point. But I mean, I just been day in, day out doing that. And now with some of the tools that we have on PulseChain, I'm beginning to get ready for that. And so, I mean, those are the ways to, like even 9inch has a DCA. But I wanted to look, because you asked me that question, to see what my total percent change is on that. All right, so my ETH did come down, because obviously we went from 4 down. So I'm only up about 70%.
Only 70%.
Overall,
not too shabby.
Those words don't belong in the same sentence.
But the Bitcoin, which is, I only bought like $1 worth, up 158%. Right? That was just fooling around at the time of that calculator. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. And the point is that there are cycles. And, being able to outlast the cycle is important, and being able to delay that gratification. And of course, staking hex is what I think works for me.
I wanna do a shout out to Casey, who is a long time Hexican friend of the show, friend of the community, and outstanding community member. He is hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. He's
Nice.
walking 2,600 miles. He's, I think, just started this week, and he says, "Stake it."
Stake it till you make it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
That's awesome. He's gonna have that's a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
Something I always wanted to do.
We're proud of you,
of-
Casey.
I thought about
You got
doing the
this.
Appalachian Trail one time, but
That's
Yeah, that's a
awesome,
long one
Casey.
too.
you got to train for that stuff a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought about that.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? That's one of the things I'd like to do in retirement is do the Pacific Coast Crest Trail.
Yeah, that's what I want to do now.
It's a sweet
But
one.
you know what? Actually, I also found out that maybe I'd really like to do during retirement. All this week,
Well, what would you like to do during retirement? Stream?
I've been watching videos on YouTube
That's what I'm doing.
of these First Amendment auditors where they go into like public buildings and they just start recording, you know, and it kind of freaks people out a little bit. They're like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And you go, "Guess what? This is a public building. I don't have to tell you shit because, you know, I'm just a person and you don't have to identify yourself." And then they freak out and they call the cops. And basically, you just kind of you agitate them enough. You're basically making sure that all of our amendments are in compliance. You just kind of make sure that they don't like overstep. Their thank you, Fast Abdul. I'll send you a bribe. But I've been watching these videos on YouTube where they just kind of, you know, go into public places and they just, you know, they're not doing anything illegal, but they just, you know, they call the cops on you because you won't tell them who you are.
Or they beat you up and break your camera and break your face.
Right.
Uh,
So
I've
But-
done that a couple times. Yeah.
I thought that'd be a fun retirement plan.
trolling people in real life.
Yeah.
I could see that for you.
You're just making sure everyone's freedoms are still intact. You know, you're just making sure that they're not stepping on, you know, the search and seizures and First
Freedom is
Amendment.
important.
Yeah.
Freedom is very important to this community.
May I switch up the subject?
Let's go.
All right, guys. Last week on Wednesday, and it feels like forever ago because literally like Wednesday's a week. And you know what launched? The Flex protocol.
What? What's the
I-
Flex protocol? Chris?
What the Flex?
What the?
I'm trying to bring this up as much as possible because I think this is a very important protocol. It's going to help people exit their positions without killing
Who brought us this Flex?
Power City.
Power City.
Power City Flex protocol. It's just like the Earn protocol where you use your PulseX to mint stable coins. With the Flex protocol, same exact thing, except for you use your Hex to mint stable coins. And I think it's brilliant. And I was kind of thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, you know, we got liquid loans, which you can use your PLS to make stable coins. Then we have
Shout out
Earn.
to Liquid Loans.
Shout out to Liquid Loans. And then you have the Earn from Power City, which turns your PulseX into stable coins. And now we got Flex, which turns your Hex into stable coins.
What else can we turn into stable coins?
Ooh,
Yeah.
one more, right? I started thinking about this in the middle of the week, or maybe at the end of the week. But I was thinking, I'm like, you know, every coin that's worth its salt really should have a protocol that allows people to turn it into stable coins.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Like almost every protocol. At first, I was actually almost a little bitter that the Flex protocol came out, because I was thinking, well, we have Earn, and what's going to happen is that when people want to cash out, they're going to sell their PLS or their Hex or their Ink or any other coin into PulseX, which would drive up the value of PulseX. And so I was just thinking the Flex protocol kind of like takes away from that, to where the value won't be driven into PulseX as much. But that's okay. That's okay. That was just me being a little greedy. I just wanted to see the price of PulseX go beyond immeasurable numbers. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the Flex protocol, and I think it's a super important protocol.
100%.
Let's see what Fast Abdul here says. He says whales can buy Hex by redeeming Hex DC with no slippage. That's brilliant. Don't be greedy. Sandy, come on. I got to be a little bit greedy.
It's in the game.
But I think these protocols that you could turn your stuff into stable coins. I think these are brilliant, and I think it's a way for us to not kill the price of our favorite crypto assets on the way out. I mean, yeah, you could do a market dump, or you can get a bunch of stable coins and lock up the assets, which makes them even more scarce, which could theoretically drive up the value of the price.
I was doing a little math, and I wanted to write it down, so I made sure I was quoting it correctly. But you were talking about having 1 million Hex and staking it. So if you're just doing, so right now 1 million P Hex or Hex on PulseChain would cost you about $8,200. If you stake that for 30 days, you would get 29.897 T shares. Current Hex per T share per day payout is about 7 Hex. So that would get you 6,278 Hex per 30-day stake. If the price is exactly the same as it is today, that would be $51. So you'd make $51 a month if you had 1 million Hex and just staked it every 30 days. Now, if you just wanted to do a quarterly stake instead, you get a few more T shares. You get 30.1 more T share, 30.867, but you're doing a longer stake period. So instead of making $51 every 30 days, you'd be making $54 every 30 days. Now, here's the kicker. Do you think Hex is going to stay at this price going forward? I think we're at least getting a 10x, at least from these prices.
I think we should. I think we could adopt the dollar stance and just talk about it.
But I mean, I'm trying to like give a low estimate. So if someone had $8,200 wanted to invest in something,
yeah, that is conservative.
And you want to do super conservative, then basically, if we're going to say 10x from here, and you're just doing a 30-day rolling stake, like you're not overcommitting, you're not like hanging it out there. I mean, to me, I don't think the bull's going to do bull things for another 6 to 18 months. So I think it's safe to do stakes in that time range. The 30 days seems like you're leaving some meat on the bone. I don't know that anything's going to happen that quickly. But if you just want to do 30-day stakes and we 10x from here on your $8,200 investment, you're going to be making over $500 a month. Not bad. That's not bad. That's conservative, right? If we 10x from here, you would be making the equivalent of $500 a month in Hex.
Yeah, that's the magic of price appreciation for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not even talking about the value increase of your principal. That's just your yield.
Mm-hmm.
So your principal, if it 10x, would no longer be $8,200, it'd be $82,000. And because you'd have access to that, because you're only doing a 30-day stake, then you would have the option at that point if you wanted to reduce that principal amount to restake. But just in yield alone, You know, a 10x from here puts you at 50 or 5,000 or $510 every 30 days if you just had a million hex rolling stake. That seems like a pretty safe, pretty sure bet. And it also is a hedge if the price does start to go back down versus just holding, you know. So, you know, I want to learn more about the flex thing, like that. I saw
Your
Axis
mic is
talk
a little
about it
wrecked, Toby.
yesterday, and
Toby,
you
your
know,
mic is wrecked.
Bruce talked about it a little bit just now. I don't know a lot about it.
Toby, can you hear
I'm
me?
just not a big fan
Toby?
of any of the lending protocols.
Toby.
Personally. I mean, I can
ChrispyMan,
see
can
how
you
there's
hear me?
utility and people are going to do it.
No, I
But-
cannot, Bruce. How about now?
Here we go.
I can
Toby.
hear you.
Okay. Toby, your mic was wrecked.
Uh-oh. How long was I muted?
I muted you because your mic was wrecked and you
Can
weren't
you
hearing
hear me,
us.
Toby?
I can't hear you. Shit.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That was fun. Great. All right. I'm going to have to bail again and try to come back in and see if it fixes it.
Uh-oh, Toby. Woo. Steak Hex.
Toby has the worst audio equipment in crypto.
Yeah, actually has some of the best in crypto. He just has trouble for some reason with the work. All right.
Someone earlier asked about the flex thing, about why would they use it. Let me see. I saw it up here. Oh, right here. Christopher says, why would you use flex instead of staking it? What's the benefit? Well, the whole thing about using flex is basically use it when you kind of want to cash out or get a loan. So if hex goes up to $18, you might want to take some off the table, but instead of selling it and dump it on the market, and maybe the liquidity pool is a little thin, so you drive the price way down. Instead, you can go take a loan out using the Flex protocol, and now you have your hex locked up off the market. You have a bunch of stable coins now that you can use for whatever, buying different assets, paying your rent, you know, strippers and cocaine. Who can, I don't know. It's all up to you. But that's why you'd use it. And the deal is that if Hex then goes up from $18 to $36, you can actually pull out more stable coins. And the great thing about that is you get more stable coins versus if you would have market sold it and killed the price. Well, once you sell it, you're out. But if you put it inside the loan protocol, you can pull out more stable coins if the price goes up. So
There you go.
Unless you're redeemed against, right?
yeah, I guess if you get redeemed, you'll have less hex, but then you also have less debt to pay back. So there's that.
Yeah, my loose understanding is that it's just something. It's kind of like yield farming or other things. It's something you really need to monitor. It's not like hex staking where you set it and forget it. It's like something you definitely want to keep tabs on, because you don't want the unexpected to bite you in the butt. You know, it's like if you don't want to be redeemed against, then you got to be careful with how you set your levels. Obviously, same with liquidation. You want to set that liquidation percentage, you know, at a comfortable level.
From my experience is you just basically don't want to be at the bottom of the list, or you know, the next to be redeemed. You want to be kind of like at least in the middle of the pack. So whatever that collateralization means, you know, either get it up or risk losing your collateral.
Gotcha. So when was I muted?
I
When your
muted
mic got
you
wrecked.
because you couldn't hear us and you were ruining everybody's ears. The thousands of people listening.
You
on
were
replay.
ruining the entire show, Toby.
Did Did it go super loud or something?
No, it's just crackly and.
Oh, what the hell? Yeah.
But you're good now, though.
If
Yeah,
anybody
you're
wants to
good.
drop a link in the chat to a recommended replacement for this piece of shit Focusrite, I'm now on my third one. It's the raspberry or something, I think. It's like the tube, whatever, the scarlet something. I'll show you
Toby,
this thing.
Amazon has a $30 USB mic by Fifine, Fifine, and it's a USB. You don't need the Focusrite. You plug it in. It's $30. I was using it for a while, and then I was like, I want to be a big boy, and I got a Shure SMB7 that required, freaking $500, and then it requires the Focusrite, and then it requires these special cables, and it sounds exactly the same as my $30 Amazon USB mic. No joke.
Nice.
So the
Focusrite,
you just have to have the right quality cables to connect it to, and it'll work for you.
Yeah.
As long as you have a good computer and everything.
I've got the good cables. I've got the cloud lifter. I've got all the right stuff.
Why do you have a cloud lifter in there? You don't need that. Take that out.
Hexologist told me to get one.
Yeah, I know. I bought one, but I don't have it connected.
Don't think it's necessary. Maybe I'll get rid of
I
that.
have one. I have one connected to mine. It's called like a dynamite.
Yeah, it's just to balance something out. I don't know. Where's Joe Hexotic when I need him? Joe, plane ticket's
he's on vacation.
You can come up and see me, and you can help me get my audio straight finally.
Just take the cloud lifter out. Make sure your cables are right, and
Here's one other thing I was thinking about regarding that Flex protocol. If people start locking up their hex into the Flex protocol, that means less people will be staking them, and therefore the staking bonuses might shoot way up per T-share, because I feel like there's going to be a lot less T-shares in the system if people use that protocol.
Yeah. I mean,
because it locks
there's
up
nothing wrong with just holding hex and like watching it go up.
Yeah, but I mean, do you want to round trip your money every single time? And eventually, like my utility company, they don't accept hex for payment, so I got to kind of turn it into a stable coin at a certain point in time in order to get it into my bank account. And that's the whole point for the Flex protocol.
But cashing out isn't a primary use case if you've got significant money. Yeah, if you're paying your bills or you're like buying a used car or something, it's going to help you. But until whales start supporting these protocols, you're not going to be able to cash out the amount of money that's like significant to you, because it has to be so over collateralized, or you have to basically take a hit on it. So it's not so simple really in practice, is what Jesse told me when I asked him on his Twitter Spaces when the PulseX one launched, and I'm like, how much can people cash out? And he's like, well, like $100,000 is like kind of pushing the limits. And the reason is because you have to look at how much liquidity is provided between the stablecoin that they've created from your over collateralized debt, or your over collateralized coin, versus the actual stable coin that your bank takes, which is a different kind. So it's like, if there's not people supporting the system, and that's one of the reasons why I care so much about liquid loans, participating in the conferences and stuff, is like, we need the whales to be able to see the value of them supporting the system so that you have backing in all of these protocols. Because it's otherwise it doesn't have the same effect of like actually create, because like the fact that you can create a stablecoin that's like over collateralized with something of value in crypto is like, that's a brilliant thing. That's important to like support the value of crypto more than USDC, which is like a banker saying yes or no to whether, that's redeemable or not in the end. Like, I understand the game theory of why USDC like should be redeemable going forward, and like they're not going to blacklist too many people, but we all know how like this power stuff in finance goes. Like, they're just going to keep pushing it until nobody has any freedom at all. And so like USDC is not the ultimate answer to like the future of crypto, whereas all of these stablecoin protocols that you guys are talking about, I think they do have a place, and we're going to need the support of the whales who they can't sell anyway. So why wouldn't they over collateralize 1,000% and help provide liquidity between USDC and like the stablecoin of choice? Like, if they want to see the primary asset do well, whether that's PulseChain with liquid loans, whether it's PulseX with Earn protocol, whether it's the new one with Hex. So yeah, I think it's super important.
I like what 100th Monkey says here. Borrowing against our chosen assets is brilliant. It's what rich people do every day in legacy finance.
Facts. Toby, you're muted.
Yes, yes and no. It's like just with the caveat of what Maddie had added, just to be aware of how much support there is for the system, how much collateral is backing that stable, and those, so it's all counterparty risk at the end of the day when you're doing anything outside of the Arch ecosystem, and there's other risks involved. So, it's definitely something you want to look into and really, really fully understand before you do it to any large degree. And might also want to check with your tax professional on, how that stuff plays in as well, because it's lots of layers.
I was thinking earlier today.
Not to be a boo bird, I'm just saying.
I would love the OA to eventually support all these protocols, because what are you doing with your with your billions and billions of tokens, and like, so. Yeah, maybe people can think about that and think about reasons like maybe why the OA wouldn't want to, just mint enough stable coins to like support the system.
You know why, right?
Why?
The PDI to $1.
Well, you just remember, guys, I guess it would depend on exactly the scenario that happens. Just remember, more liquidity means less price action, less volatility. And so, yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot going on already in the ecosystem, but yeah, mega liquidity means very slow growth.
Facts.
Likely very slow growth.
Well, and if we have a suggestion box for the OA, then it could also just like peg Hex 1-to-1 on both chains, and use Hart's law to take $1 trillion of Bitcoin and make all of our assets worth 10,000x more. I saw
two ideas put forward this week. Similar, not the same as what you talk about. It's not really similar, other than it's the OA. But how about the OA come out and sell all of its Hex on the market? That was something I saw somebody posting. Sell it down.
For shame.
Bring it down to as close to zero as possible to reset the price. Now, I was thinking about that. Why would I don't think that's a good idea. But I mean, if somebody was like throwing that out there as a concept, I went the other way with it. I was like, hey, how about the OA? How about the OA stake a shat ton and just cut the APR down? Maybe cool. That would be good too. But because you could argue some pros and cons to all this stuff. But I think Hex in general has really been working really well. I mean, average,
you think it's already dialed in?
Yeah, I mean, it's dialed in. Like, why would you break it? Why would you try to break it by trying to change like destroy a market structure like that, like by selling, even the staking, right? I mean, if you look, I mean, sure, we've got some variation, but 38 to 40% roughly average APY. I mean, it's like dialed in. Like, yeah, Richard one time said maybe that was a little bit too high and he might have done something different. But why would he? I mean, it's already there. It's already working that way. It's already balanced. Why destroy that?
Yep.
Facts.
These conversations all came up, Toby, because people are complaining about the amount of inflation as compared to what's actually circulating in user hands, not LA hands.
I just kind of want to throw this out there. If the OA is watching, I just want to say, sometimes I say some pretty crazy shit. And, sometimes, I'm just trying to speak things into existence. I'm trying to throw stuff out there, and maybe, like the higher powers that be will hear me and go, hey, that actually might be a good idea. But I wanted to give this message to Richard. Richard, I know you're following me. If I say anything that's just like a little too crazy, a little too wacky, if you think my opinions are getting a little, feel free to unfollow me, and I will see that, and I will tone it back down. I
Is that all it'll take?
Out there. I just want to put that out there. If I say anything that's just a little too crazy or outlandish, feel free to unfollow me. I'll notice, and I will bring it back. All right.
I'm unfollowing you right now.
Done. I'm not going to tone it down now.
The Biz with Briz. Welcome back.
We have a promise. We have a promise from Brisology here.
There it is.
Another episode of the Biz with Briz.
I'm just trying to speak certain things into existence.
Yeah,
hey, you gotta, sometimes you gotta throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You never know. I mean, there were ideas in the Pulse Plan group, that came to life. I mean, like he implemented them. So there were various things. I still claim that I'm the first guy that came up with the term beats for the subunit.
Dude,
man,
congrats! I didn't know that.
I think it's between me and DOS Bomb. Like, it was one of us, and I think it was within like a day of each other. So it's like, I think it was. I mean, it seems pretty obvious, right? If you think about it, Heart, Pulse, Beats, Crisp.
But it wasn't obvious at the time.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there are other things much more significant than that came from that group. So he does take recommendations.
I hate to tell you, but that was probably one of the most epic pieces of advice ever. I just can't even get. I can't. People who don't remember the origin story, we're not going to talk about it here. But damn.
And Hexagon, like that's
yeah. How did you get all the way from? How did you get all the way from PulseChain to Pulse to Beat? But anyway.
Thanks, Crispy. Appreciate it. I can go to bed feeling accomplished tonight. So, but my point being is that there were actually some real things, like some stuff about how to set the ratio initially with Pulse and PulseX. Other systemic things that he definitely took into consideration that were recommended in that group. So yeah, Briz, hey, keep firing them out there, man. And you do have some really good ideas. Some of them are a little off the wall, not gonna lie, and some of them I think are just for laughs, and you're very good at that. But there's sprinkled through there, I think, are some borderline genius ideas. So you never know if Richard's paying attention, or other builders, could pick up on it. I think here in the Game Theory gang, we've dropped a lot of good ideas for different ways to, get engagement or add-ons, projects to build. Hey, speaking of which, and I wanted to put this out there, I was thinking about how to craft a tweet without it sounding shitty, because I love GoPulse. GoPulse is like my favorite. Okay, mostly probably because I haven't spent as much time with the others, Hex Scout in particular, which I want to spend more time with, and it loads slower. So that's kind of part of the reason I like GoPulse. But the thing that I don't like about
both
GoPulse,
of them are really good.
They're both really good, but one of the things I just really wish that they would get hammered
No, I
down.
mean like they're really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're very, very good. So I mean, much like Maddie's
No, like
presentation at the
really
beginning,
good.
very, very,
Sorry.
very good, very
And-
good. But
And they promote staking Hex.
yes, and some
Stake
constructive
hacks.
criticism. Constructive criticism. Obviously, there are those of us in the community that are utilizing things like 9inch, their liquidity farms, their yield farms rather, PulseX yield farms, which shows up on GoPulse, Fux, and their
PHUX.
PHUX. Thank you. Those
I don't give two PHUX.
those yield farms, or liquidity farms, right?
Where are you
Or
going with
liquidity
this?
Pools, whatever. Those are not shown. Those are not
Yes.
shown on GoPulse. So like when you do your portfolio tracker, like if you have, like now you can do like an Axis BBC pair, an Axis 9inch pair. I can't remember, stuff like that. Like if you have that, like those are not shown in your list of assets, like your PulseX pairs are. And I'm not sure why that is, if there's some sort of back end thing that they're having difficulty getting access to. But I think it would be great if all those guys kind of talk to each other and work that out. So it's available on all of them, because it's like I don't want to go to Fatty to see what I've got going on in the PHUX pools, and then have to go over to GoPulse to see what I've got going on in the PulseX farms, and then go to Hex Scout to see what I've got going on 9mm. It'd be really great if like all of them did all of it, because I know it's not gatekeeping, but I think it's a rough spot, because if people are like involved in all these other things, they want a cohesive, comprehensive portfolio tracker.
Accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And accurate, of course, right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
by and large, they've done a great job. By and large, they've done a great job.
Well, certainly they're pulse centric, which would make sense
Yes.
because that's in the name.
Right.
I agree with you. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the entire system in a lot of different ways, and probably anything I say will sound like I'm whining and bitching. So I'm going to try not to do that.
No.
But here's the thing: is you got to be very aware that whether you're using my software, their software, somebody else's software, or configuration of software, this stuff isn't perfect, guys. You got to go double check
No.
it. And so one of the I for one love GoPulse, right? But I have to go use DBank sometimes. Right.
Oh yeah, I just heard about DBank.
And I could argue some points about, well, I can go look at the Explorer, but it's not always up to date. And so,
right.
And then OtterScan, well, it's OtterScan. Right? So, I mean, and then my spreadsheet automatically updates, but that takes 10 minutes. And so anyways, I mean, there's all these different things. So yeah.
And isn't GoPulse working on an Explorer? I thought
they very well maybe. Yeah. Yeah,
I've heard. So that would be awesome, because I mean that's definitely something that has.
But they've been, so they may hear this because they've been very reactive to the community and supporting the community. I know that
very communicative. Yeah,
I know they've responded very well.
I have a site suggestion for GoPulse. So I'm tracking like probably 8 different wallets on my portfolio.
Yeah, you put them in, and then you can put your name there too.
Yeah, exactly. You can put each one in. You put a little tag name next to them, or a little nickname.
Then it lists all your assets for you.
Yep.
But
it doesn't show.
I think I know where you're going with this.
It doesn't show.
The problem is that when I'm looking at all my assets and all of my wallets, and I see that I have a certain amount of a certain coin, but I don't know which wallet that coin is unless I click on each wallet individually and then undo it and then do the next one, then undo it and next
I'm right there with you.
I would like to just see like a little thing that says this coin is in this wallet, and just maybe put the little wallet tag next to the coin, and that'd be wonderful, because then I don't have to I got too many wallets, guys.
Dude,
not
that's
as many
nothing.
as I do.
I've got Maddie might have me beat, but just in the portfolio tracker, I think I'm up to like 37.
You guys realize that in crypto, you're supposed to use a different address for every transaction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
transaction.
yeah.
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 Yeah, that's
So-
good. That's good etiquette and wallet hygiene.
Yeah. I've got it at least 300 addresses, probably closer to 500, but somewhere in there. Yeah, it sucks.
It's tricky to organize, but it's doable. It's doable.
So yeah, I would love that
How do you
feature,
think Matty gets
Brisology.
every airdrop? How do you think Matty gets every airdrop known to man? Like he knows how to.
Not
play that game.
everyone, but I am out there.
Dude,
Not
I was
someday.
so close. I was so close on the friend tag thing. It's like I started to do it, and then it's like I don't know, something gave me cold feet, and I didn't follow through. And now in hindsight,
Someday I'll get my
should've done it.
MetaMask. I remember setting up 300 addresses with Maddie and doing transactions for that.
Oh God, I'm not
Yes.
even counting those, dude. I got a boat ton where I did like one transaction on every single one to be eligible. And then found out after that it might be per seed phrase and not per address. I'm just like, what? I'm like, no.
One
So,
day my
still.
Zen will be worth something. Right?
Which is Zen?
Oh God.
The P-Zen, the
Which
Conrad.
Zen?
I don't know. The one I set up 1,000 transactions on.
Oh.
I'm joking,
That one, the Jack Plevin.
The new Zen, not the
Who
not the
knows?
OG Zen.
Yeah,
They're launching on Solana.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
suck it,
Really?
Solana.
Launching on another coin on another chain. It's coloring me surprised.
Gotta prove it can eat the gas, man.
Yep.
Gotta prove it. Yeah, I see the.
Well, yeah, you know, get your airdrops.
So
Get
Maddie,
your
you got some work to
airdrops.
do. You got to get Sami on here with me and Crispy for a discussion.
Amber.
I don't have to do that.
You don't have to, but it would be
No.
nice. I
No,
would
you
like
have
it.
to, man. You have
I like
to.
it.
You got to do it. You got to do it.
We have to show him the light. I want to see
No.
it live. I want to see
You
it.
can't
happen
force
live.
people into doing things.
No, it's not.
You-
That's
Why
not
don't we-
forcing- no,
You'd
we're
be a
persuading
great
him. We're
auditor.
educating him on something that's obviously
Why don't we
lacking in
just-
his knowledge base.
Why don't we just pick his videos apart and then we'll do response videos? And
There
then
you
he
go.
We could do
and he
that.
can
Start your
respond.
channel.
Crispy,
He
you've
could
got a channel
respond and
already.
Respond.
Dude, if
Respond.
you want to do, I will. If you would have me, I'll be your co-host. We can go through and do lowest of stakes, and we can do commentary. We can go through and do counterpoints to Sami's videos.
You mean like mystery movie 3000?
Yes,
style?
exactly. And it'd just be the back of my
Only
bald head.
only if Grizz will be our robot, man.
There you go.
We could do little-
Well,
little-
I'm an NPC if that's the same.
You could be the NPC.
But for real, that would be fun. We got to do
Go
it. Maybe
for
I
it,
should just start
guys.
my damn channel. I've been
we
teasing
need
forever.
more. I think we need more entertainment for sure.
Do it.
That's why I like What the Hex, man. I love this. I mean, this is my favorite night of the week always with you guys, but it's like, but What the Hex is so fun because it's like, it's literally infotainment. Like they don't give a shit. Like we learn stuff here, you know, and I mean, I'm sure they touch on some things that are educational, but I think there's actually not only fun, I have fun. It looks like the
motor
chat has
don't
fun.
give a shit.
But I think we actually give a lot of useful information. I think people come away, you know, on every stream learning something, right? Some are a little more.
I think that should
full
be
than others.
the new channel, a new Hex channel, PulseChain channel is the Mystery PulseChain Theater 3000.
Mystery Pulse Theater 5555.
There you go.
D science.
There it is.
Somebody's asking. So I don't have 300 seed phrases. I have like 300 to 500
Accounts.
addresses.
Right.
Hey, you know, we should have pressed you for an answer on this since you brought it up. Could you explain to people how this comes out of the crypto world, specifically Bitcoin, with the UXTOs, right? Isn't this where this originated?
Just like the etiquette of using a different address for everything.
Yeah. Because probably a lot of people didn't just catch on to that. Like, besides the fact that it protects you, it's like having a condom every time, right? But
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, crypto is like highly trackable, which is contrary to most people's understanding of it, but we know that everything's traceable. And so, yeah, using different addresses helps you to, you know, segment and not show your entire transaction history, especially if you're, using an exchange. So for example, on Coinbase, you can go on there and this is going to come as a shock to a lot of people, but if you always deposit ETH in USDC without creating a new address on Coinbase, then all of your wallets are linked that you've ever sent money to Coinbase. And so what you need to do every single time you send USDC or Ethereum or whatever it is to Coinbase, you have to go to Coinbase and get a new address for your receiving wallet. And that way all of your different wallets aren't going to be linked together. And that's important because you might, again, like not want to show your entire life savings to everybody at all times, every time you make a payment.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like just like pulling a thread on a sweater. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not very, very cautious with how your wallets interact with one another, then it does not take a lot of effort to literally go through and see all of your wallets.
And there's like AI tools now that make it crazy easy to see what wallets are connected. So let me give you an example though of how you can be protected. So, before you could do like a bridge, BridgeBot was out there giving you 1,000 pulse every time you brought Ethereum over the bridge. And so that was really useful because you could go Coinbase to your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you use. And then you could, you could bridge over the USDC or the wrapped Ethereum, and then you'd have 1,000 pulse to get going. So you don't have to send pulse from another wallet that you already have going that, is then linking everything you're doing ever. And, but nowadays, kind of because I don't think the BridgeBot is working anymore, I guess the program just ran out or something, or maybe it was just off like the last time I checked, but I can go on 9inch.io. I can put my wrapped Ethereum there or whatever. And then on Ethereum, I can buy a little bit of wrapped pulse. And when I bridge over the wrapped pulse, which they have a page on 9inch, so this is really user friendly to somebody who's new. They have a portal to use the official bridge on 9inch. And so I can bridge over wrapped pulse that I've bought on Ethereum. So I take, 0.01 ETH and I buy wrapped pulse and then I send that over the bridge. Now the bridge will automatically unwrap that pulse, and now it's available for me to pay to do transaction fees. So this is how you can have a system where now I have a wallet that doesn't have to dox all of my other wallets. Does that make sense? The fact that like 9inch is an exchange on Ethereum and it's a DEX on PulseChain, that's what makes it so convenient to use that in particular. And I'm not aware of any other, product
indexes.
Yeah. Now, all right. Here's a good one.
Wait, does Pateus work on both?
Pateus does not work on both. I do love Pateus and I use it a lot.
PulseChain only, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a PulseChain only aggregator.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that because I knew even like in the early days of it, like there was like an Ethereum version of some of their tokens, and then they did the PulseChain versions, and yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, so if BridgeBuddy's back, that's great. That's awesome. And like, I'm not going to buy $10,000 worth of pulse on Ethereum because or 100,000 or a million or something, because there might not be as much liquidity there on Ethereum as there is for pulse on, on PulseChain. But here I'm gonna give you guys like another golden nugget here of something I didn't think it would work for talking like getting onto PulseChain or getting around these different chains. So I had my friend tech airdrop, right? And that's on base chain. So I got it and I'm like, F most airdrops, like, just sell it for ETH. So I sold it for ETH and I got like $1,000 worth out of that airdrop, and every time I've bridged off of base, it takes 7 days because the bug eaters at Coinbase don't want you to like get off very quick. And so I tried out portalxswap.io and it worked. It worked in 3 minutes not 7 days, 3 minutes to get from base chain to Ethereum. And then I went, from Ethereum to PulseChain. And Portal X Swap, it used to work on BNB chain to PulseChain directly. This is a cross-chain swap. This is like, what you dream of out there. And the fee was less than a bridge would be. It was less than it would cost for me to even like use the base bridge onto Ethereum. So it was like an incredibly low fee. It was insane. It was like $2.
Wow.
And what is
then,
it? Portal
and then
X
there's no portalxswap.io, I believe.
Okay.
Let me
Power
check
City?
it.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Portalxswap.io. Yeah. So it's a cross-chain. It's a cross-chain thing, and I think as soon as MEXC lists PulseChain, I think Portal X Swap is going to work again for PulseChain like it did before.
Nice.
when we had a centralized exchange listing. And so that'll be really cool because again, I saved money by not having to bridge.
And the time, dude.
And the time.
Savings.
Time, it was not 20 minutes. It was 3 minutes.
It's crazy.
It was not 7 days. It was 3 minutes to get off of base chain onto Ethereum. And then, of course, I could go to PulseChain from there. But in the future, it'll be direct, I'd imagine, from base to PulseChain.
Crazy.
And I mean, that's what you need, right? Like that's where you get adoption is these million, hundreds of thousands or millions of users that you've got on base chain, these millions of users that you've got in B and whatnot. I haven't ever gone on Solana, so I don't know if Portal X works there yet. But I mean, these are the types of things that make me really bullish on PulseChain. That because it might start working there. I missed cool. Jerry says I've been using Portal X for months, swapping Matic to Pulse. Oh, it works to Pulse. Look out! Look out, everybody.
From a layer 2.
The slippage wasn't bad either.
Because that was a thing too, man. Because I remember when it was quick swap and all that, and dude, it's like it was sketchy sometimes. Because I was over there doing like the chasing the yield farming stuff, and I remember Hexo like freaked out, and it was all over Twitter where it's like his money was tied up for like days, and he was like scared it wasn't coming. And then I had one that took like almost 24 hours. And I was like, and but that's wild that you could use that too.
That was year 1 New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Yep. I remember. Well, so if no one else is learning, at least I'm learning some stuff tonight.
Yeah. It's bullish. So
that's good.
Cool. Well, guys, another great episode. Appreciate you. And final thoughts, where people can find you. What do you got?
Xfire.io. Come visit. Come check out some visuals.
Hell yeah.
I'm Briz. Find me at Brisology on Twitter.
With the biz.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yep. And I'm at Tobiwan _Hexobi on X, and here with these wonderful friends of mine on Tuesday evenings. And then I do a little TA segment on Thursdays at 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on What the Hex with DJ Cryptomatic and Papa Boehner. So check me out there, and happy to be back.
Sorry, Maddie, but before you get to hear that, I just want to say I got breaking news. Breaking news. Richard Hart is still following me.
Amazed.
I'm broken.
Amazed.
Well, in the past week, I streamed with Big Kirkowski one-on-one. I streamed with Hodpearl. I streamed with Dollar Cost Crypto and Charlie, and people may have found some puzzle pieces to the mystery of what is Maddie doing, what's the sacrifice, what's the free claim. So hey, if you wanna go back and listen to those, I think that the one where the most alpha was unlocked was with Hodprol. So yeah, there you go.
And these are all on your channel?
Yep, they're all on my channel.
Okay, cool. The Corey Gary one I thought was really cool.
Streams. Which one?
The Corey Gary?
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
That was really good. That was a good one. But yeah, check it out.
Because a lot of these people, are playing along. They're participating in the free claim that I'm doing. They're participating in the sacrifice that I'm doing, and the links for those things are in the description below. So check it out. We got
my list.
Got the PulseChain conference.com coming up here rapidly this weekend. So I'm gonna get back to work organizing and getting the schedule all put together. But yeah, with that being said, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.
Peace out. These are
good
not
stuff.
you're looking for.
These are definitely the droids. These are the bots you've been looking for.
These are not the bots you were looking for.